Na 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 na. What's in the box?
When I was a kid, I used to have this subscription to a horse book club, and getting a couple of books and other horse-related paraphernalia every month was, I kid you not, it was better than my birthday. So when I discovered that ScrawlrBox was in the UK and I could actually subscribe to really cool art supplies every month without paying all my salary, I couldn't resist. This is great. I've wanted this for so long. So let's talk about what's in the box. First off, we have 6 sheets of pretty good watercolor paper. I haven't used it more than I do in this video, but I look forward to exploring more what this size can do. Also, every month you get a little print that is now, adorning my wall in my office, and some information about the featured artists. There's also the Scrawler zine with all kinds of helpful tips and tricks and interviews. Did you know you can use cling film to get like a crystally effect? I had no idea, and I'm so excited to try it. And then the big event, the main feature, a piece of candy. I'm usually not this careful when I'm opening packages. This is a big deal. So, piece of candy. I gave it to my partner. I had no idea what it tasted like. A little sticker with aforementioned crystallized effects. A little guide to see what kind of material is in the box, which is helpful. A Derwent Graphitint watercolor pencil. And here we go. The big thing, the Graphitint paint pan set. I'd never seen anything like this before. I've worked with watercolors before, but never something with graphite. And when I ordered this box, I didn't expect there to be so much in it. I thought maybe there'd be like little test pans, but not like a full product. And okay, here we go. The paint pan came with this little guide for what the colors look like, which I thought was going to be helpful because, as you can see, they look nothing alike. But first off, let's try out the pencil. It's super soft, so I think it's going to be good for sketching, and also it's water soluble, so you can do stuff with your watercolors and the pencil won't show through, which I enjoy a lot, actually. Oh, also, I've wanted a water brush for, I don't know, years, and I've never gotten one, and I have no excuse, and now I own one, and I'm so happy. Thank you, ScrawlrBox. First off, we have Autumn Brown. Something I discovered really quickly when trying out the colors is that the color in the pan and the color on the little guide sheet, neither of them really represent the actual color on the paper. Like, they're a lot more saturated. This one on the paper looks more red than it does brown. So we have Autumn Brown and now Russet, which is, I think, like a really nice olivey green. It doesn't look as brown or as orange as it does in the guide or in the pan. Also, I don't know if it picks up on the camera as well as I'd want it to, but all of these have like graphite in them. So they have this little sparkly effect, and it's really nice, and like you can make some moody ass paintings with these colors, I am sure. This is Meadow, which looked really yellow, but this is just a nice green, I think. Like, this is very close to my absolute favorite color that I keep defaulting to whenever I need to draw something with a nice color in it. Also, this little like spongy thing, I tried to use it so much, and it took so long before I realized you have to actually like press the brush to rinse it out. Sorry, Jesus Christ. Okay, how do you like my camera work? I've never done this before. I am sure you couldn't even tell. Okay, we're moving on to color number 4, Green Gray, which I thought was like a nice slatey, stony. I don't know where they got the green from because it doesn't look green at all, I think. But it's a good gray. Next up is Slate Green. which is also like, I feel more blue, but it's like a cold bluish green. And I think I'm gonna use this a lot. I need to like get into less saturated, less like bright, because I tend to default really red in my drawings and my coloring. And I want to do more like moody paintings. And I think this set could really help me like push the boundaries a bit. Next up is Ocean Blue, like the sea after a storm. Also really good like night sky color, I feel. I'm gonna work on using that as well. Next up, Steel Blue, which is nice and dark without being black, which is something I really enjoy. And I'm sure you've heard this advice 1,000 times before, but I feel like most of my art gets better if I avoid using pure black or pure white. And in my comics, I almost always use pure black only in the line art, if that, and never in the actual drawings. Here we have Dark Indigo. And next up is Aubergine. And I kind of enjoy that these two are very similar in color, like it's one colder and one a little warmer. But it's not really like colors I usually use like this. I haven't worked with these kinds of colors before. I've done some watercolor work, but the set I have is really saturated with very bright colors. And I tend to like lean towards that because that's what's in my toolbox. Here we have Juniper and now Port. I was actually surprised that there was so many purple colors in this. Like there's a lot of variation if you're into this side of the spectrum. And now the last one, Graphite Gray, which is also like a nice not black. Last year, my mom's from up north, and aside from once when I was a baby, I was so small I don't even remember it happening. I have never been up to visit my relatives in Östersund. And this is like northwestern Sweden. It's not like the far, far north. I've been more far, far north than I've been here. But we got to go for a funeral, my grandfather's sister, so it wasn't, I mean, a funeral is always a sad occasion, but this was more an excuse for the family to get together after 35 years of not seeing them, or at least not visiting. They've been down to Stockholm a few times. So me and my mom took the train up, and we spent 4 days with relatives, with her cousin and his wife, and my mom's other cousin who emigrated to America when she was in her 20s. And she stayed there and she's 75 now. She's lived there her entire adult life. And all these aunts and uncles that I've never met, and my mom's cousins' kids I've never met, and there's just this whole group of people. And my mom's cousin is really big into genealogy, and he's tracked his or our family back generations, and both here and in America, because we do have relatives that emigrated back in the, I don't remember, maybe in the 30s. So we spent an entire day driving around these small like villages outside the city, and all these places where my mom grew up and where her cousin grew up, and most importantly, where my grandfather grew up. My grandfather died in a car accident when I was 11, and I've written about it some in my comics before, but I've never really dug into how much that affected me as a person. He was the first big loss in my life, We've had to euthanize dogs before, so it wasn't like I was unfamiliar with the concept of death. But he was the first person close to me who died, and he died when he was like in his, I don't remember, in his 70s maybe. He was young-ish, and he was very active and very healthy, and it just happened. And it was a complete turning point in my life. I don't even know if it was a tragic event so much. It was a traumatic event for many reasons. But most of all, I felt like I was cut off from that part of the family when that happened. I still spent a lot of time with my grandmother, but I never went up and visited the relatives I had up there where he grew up. And now I finally got the chance, and we went. And this is referenced from a photo I took just outside the house he grew up. We got to go there because my mom's cousin is an amazing man who he cares so deeply about family, and he cares so deeply about family history that he stayed in touch with the people who bought the house. And he has like a standing invitation to come and visit and show relatives and relatives from America coming over to see where their ancestors came from. And this is a little shed in the woods outside the house where my grandfather grew up and where my mom's cousin was born. And right behind me when I took this photo is this view of a lake and the deep woods. And I think I don't know how long we stayed there, not even an hour, I don't think. I think that's the first time in my life where I felt like I really had roots, where I felt like I really belonged. And maybe that's strange because I haven't moved much. I moved away for school for 2 years, but it wasn't far. Otherwise, I've lived in the same zip code my entire life. And I consider myself from Stockholm, mostly. But there, I felt a connection to people I've never met and to people I barely remember having met. And it just had such a profound impact on me. Those 30, 40 minutes we stayed there, and it was cold, and it was windy, and it was wonderful. And I'm gonna go back someday, and maybe I won't see this shed, and maybe we won't take the car out, because people grow old, and people aren't allowed to drive anymore, or people never learned how to drive. And these places, they disappear. They disappear from our memories. They disappear from our lives. And I think having the possibility to see this before it disappeared and before my opportunity to see it disappeared, I think that's something that really pulled me through this last year. And I don't want to talk about this year because so many have, and compared to a lot of people, I got out of it really well so far. But you never know, you know. So much can happen. One moment, you're healthy and active, and you're driving home from a successful hunt up north that you go on every single year. And the next, well, there is no next. This is the first video on this channel, and going into it, I didn't really know what I wanted to do as far as narration goes. I knew I wanted to do some painting videos. I wanted to do some unpacking videos or unboxing videos or whatever you want to call it. I wanted to talk about art supplies, and I wanted to talk about myself. because I haven't done that as much in my life. And I feel like I need to, in some way, remember what's important and make a mark and show that I do have things to talk about. I never intended for this first video to be quite so personal, but then again, I did pick a very personal picture. And sometimes we just get what we ask for, huh? I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed me drawing and talking. And you know what YouTube is. I'm not gonna explain how YouTube works. There will be more videos. And there will be more conversations. And if you have memories that have pulled you through this year, or something you just want to talk about, let me know. You can write a comment, or you can send me an email, or talk to me on Twitter or wherever. Write a letter and put it in a bottle, but don't throw it in the ocean, 'cause turtles. Thanks for listening. I hope to talk to you again soon.